Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Wisdom Wednesdays with me, Rosie from Rosie's Path to Wellness. Today, I want to talk quickly about the definition of success and how that is a very individual concept. The definition is really up to you, and I wish that was something that someone had spoken to me about when I was younger. I feel like so much of life we are looking to other sources to decide what is the meaning of success. Maybe what are your neighbors doing? What are your relatives doing? What are your coworkers doing? What's it being shown to you on movies and television shows? And I feel like that is it's such a false and meaningless definition of success to choose what someone else is doing and try to do that. Now, of course, if that is truly what you want, then using that as an example and then trying to follow their path to get to that same level of success, that could make sense. Like maybe in a business sense, following the steps that they have made to get to the growth where they are so that you can also get to the same growth, that might make sense. But to say, look at my neighbor and be like, oh, they have a huge house with a pool and 4 cars and whatever ridiculous amount of materialistic goods they have, that must be success. That seems sort of shallow and not really truly centered or grounded in who you are or who I am. And so I think it's important that we all sit down and actually take the time, the quiet time, to really think about what does success mean to me. And possibly the easiest way to look at that is really going back to, how do I want to spend my time in my day? Do I want to spend my time maintaining all of the ridiculous materialistic goods that I've accumulated? Hey man, if that's you, cool. Then go for it. That's not for me. And so it's taken me time to actually sit down and realize that. When I was younger, I was like, yeah, I do want to have a mansion. I want to be a millionaire. I want to have all these things. And then as I've gotten older, I realized that all of these extra things requires a lot of time and energy to manage. If you have many, many cars, you have to manage all of that. Now, of course, if you have tons of money, maybe you pay someone to do that. But if you don't, then you're managing all these cars, you're managing all the maintenance, you're managing all the bills, you're managing everything else that goes along with it. And that's a lot of work and time and energy. So for me, I've really boiled it down to, what do I want to spend my time on? I want to spend my time with my family. I want to spend my time by myself, peaceful in my garden, growing my own food, having time to cook healthy, nutritious meals for myself and my family. That's the meaning of success to me. And of course, to have some financial freedom of not worrying day to day how I'm going to pay for each individual bill that's coming through the door. So it's just something that you should, maybe take the time to think about if you haven't. And this will probably change throughout life too. So when I was younger and I was running a daycare while my children were young, many of my family members would be like, well, why aren't you taking on more clients? I wasn't taking on the max legally allowed amount of children. And the reason for that is because the meaning of success for me in that moment was not gaining or earning as much money as I possibly could in that environment. The success to me was having enough money to provide for my family, to be home with my kids, and to also provide a really good service to those kids that did come in the door. It wasn't about maximizing profits. And so that's something that you can think about as well while you're defining success for you and in your life. And then, of course, now I'm into a different stage of life and I have to redefine what that means for me. So just some key things to think about for you when you're also trying to define in your life, what is the meaning of success? And I feel like if we haven't fully defined it for ourselves, then we're kind of off, like chasing all these random goals, chasing these random things, spending a lot of time doing that, when in the end, it might not actually be what creates joy or happiness for us. And so if you sit down and you take that time and you can really focus on what is the meaning of success for you, what would bring you joy and peace in your life, how do you want to spend your time? It might be a quicker route to get to that goal if you're not chasing a bunch of sort of pointless things that you think are going to bring you happiness, you think are your meaning of success, when really they're not. They're someone else's. So anyways, I hope that was helpful to you. I hope that made sense. It's something that I've been thinking about for the last couple of years. And, when I was running the daycare, I didn't even really realize that at the time. It was when I looked back at it, I was like, well, why didn't I take on the full 5 kids? Why didn't I push myself or get licensed so I could take 6 kids and more? I'm like, because that's not what I wanted at that time. That wouldn't have been successful to me. That would have been too much. And even though it might have been bringing in more money, it would have taken away those other things that I truly did want, which was time with my children, and which was, providing healthy food and, running my daycare very thoughtfully, but providing a good service to those families instead of providing a mediocre or bad service, but making more money for myself. Anyways, yeah, I hope that was helpful. Maybe sit down, take a few minutes to journal this for yourself. Like, look at what your ideal day would look like. What would you be doing in your ideal day? Where do you want to spend your time? What do you want to be doing with your time? And that might help you sort of figure out what your meaning of success, your definition of success is. And then you can work towards that instead of some, who knows, undefined goal somewhere. But yeah, if this was helpful, let me know. Maybe if you have already defined what your meaning of success is, please put it in the comments, share with me. I'm really curious what my listeners are up to and what are your goals? What are you into? Tell me about yourself. You're hearing all about me, so share a little bit. Hit the like, hit subscribe, share with a friend. And yeah, just, what? I wish you success. Whatever it is you define for yourself, I wish you success. And thank you. I'm grateful for your time here. So peace. Have a beautiful day. And if you're like me, you're going to be going out to shovel about 4 feet of snow soon. So I'm resting up nicely now before I get out there to do that. So peace. Love you.